In this week's episode of the podcast, we talk about your inner child. Those, I want to say traumatic events, but honestly, there's just microscopic events that happen in your life that shape your decision making today. Even though you might not realize it, your uncomfortabilities, your insecurities, they all stem from things that happened to you in your adolescent years. So we discuss how those events affect you and how to get through it, most importantly.
So tune in.
Let's go. Hello and welcome to the 2D podcast. I am your host, Adonis Barrera, and I am joined as always by my lovely cohort, Iana Giselle.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty well, Iana. How you doing?
Doing well.
Nice. It's springtime.
It is.
We're starting to see the cherries blossom,
Yes.
the petals flowing.
Uh-huh.
Even though all that happened, we did see a little bit of snow today.
The slightest bit of snow,
Yeah.
but that's how cold it is.
That's
still.
that's how it is here in Virginia in the States.
You get all 4 seasons in one day.
Exactly. But I'm actually kind of glad because, you know, we normally hit a second winter after we get some nice weather.
Mm-hmm.
But it only looks like it'll be a couple days like that it'll be this cold.
Yeah.
And then we're going back to 70s.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
so-
can't wait.
So for my game this Thursday,
Yes.
it'll be like 74.
Let's go. I'm so excited.
oh yeah. Yeah, but as we mentioned in the intro, we're going to be talking about how we can get through our traumas. And even though they don't feel like they're actual traumas, you know, they're like little microscopic events
Mhm.
that happen in our adolescent years that have
Contributed to shaping who we are.
who we are and how we act.
Yes.
Like-
yes.
The fears and insecurities and the uncomfortabilities, if that's a word, how, you know, how we even got here to being like that.
Exactly. How we became who we are right now.
Yeah.
And we're saying that because depending on what you do with what has happened is how do you move forward? Do you want to continue to be that person
Right.
that was affected by that, or do you want to grow and take that lesson and learn from it?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So for example, right, when I was in middle school and high school and actually a little bit of college and into my adulthood,
Mm-hmm.
I always felt shy, right? But I always said to myself, you know, one day I'll grow out of it. One day I'll be confident. My self-esteem was low.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until I actually started to face the problem
Mm-hmm.
and actually analyze and dissect what is going on with me.
Right.
Why is it that I have low self-esteem? Why is it that I'm not able to freely speak my mind when it's just a casual conversation?
Yeah.
You know, it's like hanging out with friends, but and friends that I've been with since childhood. But sometimes I feel like I can't speak my mind freely because I don't want my ideas to be rejected and I don't want that feeling of embarrassment.
Yes.
And so then I really started to analyze, like, why do I feel like that? What happened to me that makes me think that every time I say something, I'll be rejected, that I'll be embarrassed? I really had to go back to elementary school.
That inner child.
Yeah, that inner child to understand this and this and this happened. This is why I'm feeling like this now.
Right.
Like, even though I don't think about those occasions
yes.
that I'll get into in a minute,
Mm-hmm.
even though I don't think about those occasions in elementary school and middle school,
Mm-hmm.
but they have affected me even on a subconscious level to the point that when similar situations or pop up where an opportunity it has opened up for me to be embarrassed, for me to be rejected,
Mm-hmm.
I will subconsciously back away because I do not want to feel like that again.
Right.
And the reason we bring this to you is because it was my mid early 20s until I started addressing those problems.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't address them, I would still be carrying them into my 30s and 40s.
Exactly.
I mean, you see it all the time where you see, grown men being very timid and shy, not humble, talking about timid, where they won't even look you in the eye if you say good morning or hello,
Mm-hmm.
right? You could say, oh, it's just their personality trait. But no, there's at a certain point, at a certain level, there is something wrong with them not being able to express themselves.
Right.
If you want to keep, sorry, but if
It's
you
okay.
want to keep to yourself and you're an introvert, that's one thing. But if someone does say hello or good morning to you, you speak up,
Yeah.
and then
you address them.
and then you leave not wanting to talk anymore.
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's part of like literally what you just said is the inner child killing that person,
Yeah.
like not allowing them to move forward, not
Mm.
allowing them to look up because of their past,
Right.
versus like that's what's like imprisoning them basically,
Exactly.
know?
Like restricting them, limiting them from who they truly are naturally.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the difference when you are either alone or with a really close friend or family member.
Mm-hmm.
You're yourself, you're funny,
Yeah.
you're full of life.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment you step out and you talk to other individuals that you aren't so close to, and you start to feel uncomfortable, you start to feel these insecurities, or if it's at a job where you feel like beneath,
Right.
like unworthy of talking, speaking out, or just getting stuff done
Mm-hmm.
to a certain degree, you really have to analyze why that is. Like, it's not your personality, because when you're at your soccer game or your football game, you're the man or you're the woman getting it done. But when it comes to the
Right.
workforce, the confidence plummets.
Right.
Like, what is it? It's not just your personality. It's not just you don't have the right information. Because a lot of us, we have that information.
Mhm.
Because we're not talking to other people or, doing all that other stuff,
Yeah.
we spend more time trying to make sure we are getting everything right so we don't get humiliated.
Right.
So we actually know more sometimes than the other person.
Yeah.
But because we're so, lacking with self-esteem and confidence,
Mhm.
we do not speak out. We do not
Right.
speak out.
We allow ourselves to hide from our past. No, allow ourselves to hide out of the fear of not wanting to put ourselves back out there
Exactly.
because we might encounter the same outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for example, right? I'll give you one. I'll give you guys a story,
Mhm.
and Ayana will also have hers. Back when I was like and this was actually for a number of years,
Mhm.
where I was living, there's a playground right in front of where we lived, right
Right.
in front of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, me and my friends would always, the neighbors' kids and everything would always go to the playground,
Yeah.
hang out, have a great time.
Yeah.
But then there's this guy, his name was Chris. And it's okay that I say his name because, there's many Chris's in the world.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't even remember his last name.
Right.
But he was a mean elementary school kid. Like, he would bully most kids.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you were bigger than him, he wouldn't really do too much to you.
Yeah.
But for those of us that were younger, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was some family thing where maybe he was getting,
Right.
but he would be a bully pretty much.
Mhm.
And he would, knock me down. If I had like a ball or something, he would want it. He's like, yo, let's play. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really want to play with you, but okay, fine. Or else, I'd rather play with you than get those hands.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And so that instance, like, I started becoming a little more submissive because it wasn't just, a few days, a few weeks. It was like a couple of years
Yeah.
because he lived there too in the
Wow.
community.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So I started carrying that with me. And that's when I noticed that I started, now that I think back on it, not in the moment, that's when I started lowering my head. Like when I used to walk, you could ask my friends back in middle school and high school, I would always walk with my head down. And it's because I didn't want to attract the attention of the wrong person.
Wow.
And of course, that affected me because eye contact then for me was something uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, eye contact is normal. So people that obviously didn't know what I went through, they would be like, what's wrong with him? Why is he so shy? Why is he, why is he so weird? Pretty much. But it's because of those inner childhood things that I went through that I carried with them, that I carried with me and I didn't address. Yeah.
And you didn't even know like you were supposed to address it, you know?
Of course. It's like the triple darkness. You don't know that you don't know that you don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. For me, my inner childhood thing was when I was in second grade, because I moved from Falls Church to like Chantilly area.
Yeah.
I had a friend, and what's it called? Basically, like we were really good friends, and then one week she just like stopped hanging out with me and like had another friend, and I was like, I was so hurt.
Yeah, of course.
For like, she was like hanging out with her for like probably like 3 days in a row, and I was like, okay, bro, like what's going on?
Right.
And I felt that, so I was like, okay, I wrote it on a note, and I was like, are we still friends?
No way.
Yes or no, and put check boxes, and then I folded it and handed it to her. Of course, the teacher grabbed the note. She read it. She pulled all three of us aside, and I was like, oh, bruh, here we go.
All three.
All three.
So even her current best friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And then I don't know what happened, but basically we ended up with like, I was crying, they were crying, and then like we had to like hug it out.
No way.
Yes. But what's funny is like after that, this is not funny, but after that, you would think that like we like made up because we hugged.
Right.
And like we were all like supposed to be friends.
Right.
I removed myself from that situation and just took it as like, okay, I'm not making like I'll be friendly to other people and nice to other people, but I'm not going to get that close to let anyone else be able to hurt me like that.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to make friends if they're just going to
do that to me again. So when you say you removed yourself, you stopped talking to her altogether?
Yeah, like her and the other girl. Like I don't remember like hanging out with them anymore, or like being included, or like wanting to even be included. Like I just did my thing. Like I remember third grade, which is like a year later, where like I was friends with like other people, but like during recess, everyone was on the playground and I was like just shooting hoops on the like basketball court by myself.
No way.
And the teacher had to go by the playground, but he saw me like off by myself, and like I was like, I finally like scored, and then he was like, you got it. Like he was so excited that like I got it. And I was like, yeah, like okay, cool, someone sees me.
No way.
But I never like wanted to play with anyone else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Since that moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so like, but the weird thing is I do have a lot of friends, and I do know that like I overshare, but at the same time I lay it all out, and then it's kind of like, okay, what do we do with this? Like there's no more room for like growth or connection. So then it's like, okay, cool. You know my story. I can keep moving on now. I'm good.
Right. So what you're saying is as soon as you meet someone, you tend to overshare. And when I mean overshare, I've seen it in action. Like you really like, Someone would ask you a
Like,
question like, what do you do? And then, oh man, you go in, the wellness, maybe the podcast,
yeah.
and you just go in on what they mean before they even get to ask the next
Next
question.
question.
And so by the time you're done, like with your orientation,
I know.
they're pretty much like, okay, well,
That was
that
that.
was that. I don't want to ask another question
Yeah.
because I don't want to get another,
Long-winded
yeah,
thing.
yeah, where there's so much information, I don't even know how to respond.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
and yeah, I don't. Now that you say it, it's like you've been alone, like not alone because you've had friends, but you're trying to, I feel like, almost overcompensate
Yeah.
from that side of you, from being recessed, from like
Yeah.
being apart from others. That now you think, okay, I've done that for so long. Let me overcompensate in a subconscious type level
Mm-hmm.
where I'm open as a book and I share
Yeah.
everything I can, so this person knows I'm not trying to fall back on them.
Right.
Like I'm not trying to leave after this discussion.
Yeah.
Like I'm here, what's up?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like I know now
Yeah.
that I'm dumping on them,
Mhm.
and then all right, let me let them process that and I can go away again. Let
Mm.
me be back to by myself.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like you don't need to know more because you don't even know what to do with what I just gave you. So I'm gone
Wow.
and I'm good.
So when did you notice, if at all, that was an issue of you, recessing, of falling back, being to yourself? And did you even see it as an issue, honestly?
I didn't see it as an issue. I think the next time I like made friends
Yeah.
and like made like a best friend was in like 5th grade.
Mm.
Yeah, about 4th or 5th grade. And it was like part of my church group. And I think we were so close
Mhm.
that we were so close that I didn't give myself enough like boundaries.
Yeah.
And that became detrimental to the friendship because I didn't know how to separate myself from
them.
yeah, like separate myself from
And
them
put boundaries on it.
and put boundaries on it because I was like, okay, I need to fix like anything I can do to help them. Let me just like keep trying to fix everything.
Yeah.
But then when I like knew the answer, but then they didn't want to like listen, then it was like, okay, I don't know how else to help you.
Right.
And because of that, then it went on for years.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I have nothing else to give you anymore.
So it was like a toxic friendship.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, because I don't have anything else to give you, like
Yeah.
I need to look out for myself again.
Again. And it's like I got you. So you finally open up to someone after all those years,
Mm-hmm.
just to go right back to maybe not the exact same situation,
No.
but it's like you got burned again
Yeah.
from something that you really cared about.
Right.
And so then, of course, you're going to say, I'm better off on my own.
Yeah.
And, it's cool to be on your own if that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing it because you feel like you don't have another choice, that's when it's an issue,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we really have to understand. It's like those people that always have something to say about relationships. Oh, don't get in a relationship. They're just in it to see what they can get out of you. They're liars, they're cheaters. If you walk into that at each relationship that hurt,
Right.
you're always going to see the worst in the relationship.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to have a relationship that's pure, happy, and, full of joy.
Yeah.
All relationships have their ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
but there are things that you can work through.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're always carrying that mentality of, I got hurt in the past.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through that again.
Right.
I'm guarding myself. You're never going to really experience love,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like, it's like playing a sport, but you're always on defense. What's the point?
Yes.
You're not having any fun, so why are you even playing?
Yeah.
Unless you're a professional.
Hmm.
But if you're just doing it for the fun and you're always just having your guard up,
Mm-hmm.
and even when you have the ball, you're just keeping it, you don't want to shoot.
Right.
What are you doing? You know,
Mhm.
it's like, might as well just step off the court and train.
Mm-hmm.
Work on what you need to work on your insecurities, work on your fears.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you saw that you went from one bad friendship to the next.
Mm-hmm.
It took a few years,
Mm-hmm.
but when you start to think about, like, why is it that I like to be alone? It's because of this. What can I
Yeah.
fix? What boundaries can I put up now
Right.
because of that? That doesn't mean don't play the sport again. It doesn't mean don't make any more friends.
Mm-hmm.
It just means, okay, I need to learn boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I need to learn self-restraint,
Right.
and I just need to love myself first
Yeah.
and not look for it from someone else,
Yes.
because that takes the pressure off them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so true. And I think what I learned more recently too is like because I've said it on the podcast before, but I'm the youngest of like two. I have two older sisters. And recently, like, their friends are my friends.
Right.
Like, my friends are their friends. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Their friends are my friends too.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, okay, she has her friend group. She has her friend group. Who's my friend group? And why are they not friends with my sisters either? And then I was like, oh no, like, I kept that level of separation because I was like, this is my family. Like, because I already have a group within my family, and I loved growing up and getting along with all of them, and like had my cousins and everything like that. I was like, okay, bet, like, family.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main part. Versus they found comfort in other people, and I was like, oh, okay, I got you. Like, I didn't really learn that until recently, where I was like, oh, I am jealous that they're hanging out with other people. Like, why do they want to hang out with this person and both go to dinner with this person, but we never have like a sister dinner or something like that?
Yeah.
And so then recently, like, I went to lunch with only one of the sisters, and the other one got jealous. I'm not gonna say who.
Yeah, which one?
But it was just so funny, and that's when I realized, like, oh,
It's natural.
it's natural
Like, it's
that
not just me.
one of us will feel jealous if the other two are hanging out.
Exactly.
It's not like I'm the one that has to feel like butthurt or whatever, you know? Like, no, it's not like out of malice or anything like that. It's just out of convenience. Like, we're literally having lunch because we work near each other.
Right,
Whatever.
exactly.
And the other one, I freaking live with, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like I see them. They see each other.
Right.
They see, like, yeah, we all have like our own dynamics and everything, but it's about accepting that you're not going to be their whole world and they're not going to be your whole world either. I don't know if I said that correctly, but
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like accepting the fact that like there's room for multiple, you know? It doesn't have to be all eggs in one basket. Like,
Yes.
like there's a time for this certain amount of people. There's a time for family. There's a time for friends. There's a time for relationships. Like, know when the appropriate time to hang out with other people is.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And every relationship is so different. Every friendship or siblings or whatever is so different that it's okay if you're not that close to your siblings if you have a best friend.
Exactly.
It's okay if you really do have like a great relationship with your siblings, but you don't have that many friends
Yeah.
to rely on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, as long as you have that connection with someone,
Yeah.
that is the crucial part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. So once you understand that, it relieves a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to get there, in order to get to that someone,
Yes.
you have to work through that inner child that's
Mm-hmm.
hurt. You know,
Yes.
you have to look at them and be like, hey, it's okay that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucks that you got humiliated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucks that you got bullied.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucks that you were pretty much left alone and you got, ignored.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It happens. People, there's different types of people and they live in different moments.
Right.
Like, not everyone is bad. Everyone has a little bit of bad in them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a little bit of good in them.
Exactly.
And it just depends on, where they are in life that causes them to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? Yeah, it sucks that happened to you. Acknowledge that it happened to you. Validate the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, it's okay that you feel humiliated. Yeah, it's okay that you got sad that happened. But now it's time to move on and let go. You have to allow yourself to make new connections.
Yeah.
You have to allow yourself to be free, not be restricted by those, moments in life
Mm-hmm.
that they accumulate. Like I said, it's not just a one-time thing that happened.
Exactly.
It's little things that happen in your life that causes you to act in a certain way.
Right.
So the first step is to acknowledge those moments. Like, those things happen to me. That's why I feel nervous talking to new people, or
Right.
I shy away as soon as, they pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Or, that's why I don't want to make any friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand that now,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to allow myself to
feel
exactly
what I went through so that I can learn the lessons and validate validate that experience as a lesson learned so you can let it go and move on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you know what? I wanna take the foot off the pedal. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I wanna take the foot off the gas
Mm-hmm.
and just talk about, how are you, Iana?
I'm okay. I think I definitely learned a lot about myself this past week.
Yeah.
In the sense of I'm continuing to apply more tools in my box when I need it.
Nice.
So, for example, this week I was pretty down. But when I look back, when I was down, it was because, well, it's not because of anything, but when I was down, what did I do?
Right.
I ended up reaching out and praying and asking God to give me the strength and ask and you shall receive.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I did end up receiving a random text from my cousin. So I'm glad she reached out and was like, good morning, have a fabulous day.
Nice.
When I haven't heard that from her
Yeah.
in a minute. She has done it before, so I'm grateful.
Right.
But it was just so random.
Yeah.
But she followed whatever was on her heart that day.
Exactly.
To reach out.
Exactly.
And it wasn't like I was waiting around for someone to see me.
Right.
I reached out too, and I messaged in my group chat with my sisters and my mom and my cousin. I was like, good morning.
Nice.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And just the simple, I'm so grateful that that group was already made, that those people are already there that I can just reach out to.
Exactly.
I don't have to wait for anyone to see me. I can
see them.
Yes, I can see them and be seen
right.
that way,
Exactly.
And then also like really taking not just self-care,
Yeah.
but like taking the time to appreciate, like the first step that like I know is also like taking the step to like appreciate like who I am.
Right.
I am growing. I know I'm
That's
growing.
what's up. That's what I'm talking about.
And when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, okay, or even just the simple act of like putting lotion on my hands. Like, okay, we were crusty. It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
put lotion on,
Yeah.
but like rub it into your skin. Give yourself a hand massage and really work out whatever needs to get worked out of your hands.
Yeah.
Because your body, I don't think people really understand that your body really feels and holds the emotions that you do not feel, that you don't choose to feel. Like, I don't know if everyone like believes in like acupressure or holistic medicine or Reiki or any of those types of things.
Yeah.
But like, there's a reason why there's a knot in your shoulder on the left side next to your collarbone or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, there is science behind this is like the type of emotion that you've been holding. There's grief, there's sorrow, and like all these other things.
Yeah.
And there's people that know, like, what is this? Oh, my left hip is hurting or something like that. Whatever it may be. But like, just take the time to learn it, or take the time to move your body, because when you stay stagnant, that's not only your body, but your mind and your heart that stays in that
knot almost.
In that knot.
Yeah.
And you're not allowing yourself to be fluid and be open and
be free.
Be free to continue to move on with life.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you know?
Like doing the simple things, getting that lotion, massaging your hands. So simple, but it's appreciating, what you got, reaching out. And I love that point that you made is like, see others to be seen.
Sometimes you have to put the first step.
Yeah, I want to say I hate when people are always playing the victim of saying, but this person never does this for me. Like, I want them to be like this, but they're never showing me that side. Put that effort in first. Be the role model.
Yeah, they don't know that you.
They don't know,
say it.
And maybe they're just like too scared to make that move. But if you do it, it's so much easier to do. Like when I started telling Iana, I mean, I'm sure she was reading before, but when I told her that I was reading every day, that I was praying every morning, that I was reading my Bible every night, like it gave her that confidence to go even harder.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in this alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was like when you did hone in on like reading every day and working out every day, that's when I was like, oh, bet he already started, so now I can piggyback off of him.
Yeah.
And now I can continue to, well, even like you've been working out. I haven't like scratched the surface of the working out yet, but I'm like, okay, like, cause I don't have my own gym membership or anything like that. You do. So it's like, okay, what, I have to wait for the weather, like, all these things. Those are all excuses, because even if it rains, I already told my coach yesterday that I am going to walk for 15 minutes, whether rain or shine.
Yeah.
At this time in this area.
Nice.
Like, I set it up already. So she's going to check in with me and see like, okay, what's the progress?
Nice.
Like, but sometimes it's just a simple accountability check-in, of like, who's going to hold me accountable for what I'm saying, and be very specific on the goal that you want to set up.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it. I love it. And I mean, it'll become easier for you once, like you said, have that accountability. And then who knows, maybe when you do get a membership, you'll start to see a person every day, and then maybe you'll spot them or something. And then, you build that connection where you have someone to go with you.
Right.
Every time. Because I mean, that's why it's so easy for me, because I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Because I have two friends that want to get stronger, that not just for the sake of being stronger, but just to be healthier, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what excuse could I give them that I, don't go that day? They're
Mhm.
working out as much, if not more, than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So it really does make a difference when you have someone else.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Be that role model if you don't see it in someone else, especially when it comes to relationships,
Mm-hmm.
like your partner. You have to tell them. No, not tell them. You have to show and do
Mm-hmm.
first.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, if they'll see it, and if, let's say, they haven't been wanting to work out, but if they see you do it, they'll feel a certain type of way and be like, all right,
Yeah.
dang, I didn't want to do it, but he's doing it, she's doing it. I got to at
Right.
least put in some type of effort.
That exposure. So it's two things. It's the exposure
Yeah.
of being around someone who's already doing it.
Yeah.
And then two is you don't have to do exactly what that person is doing.
Right.
Like Adonis loves soccer.
Yeah.
He loves soccer. I haven't played, like the only team that I played on was basketball in 5th grade. But we both love to walk, you know?
Exactly.
And I went on a walk the other day and it was the same route that we did together. But I also love stretching and doing yoga. That doesn't, like, just because Adonis loves soccer and he goes to the gym doesn't mean that, like, I have to love soccer and go to the gym and do all these runs.
Yeah.
Just because he's doing it.
Right.
I know I loved playing basketball. I know how to do kickboxing and do yoga and, like, how to follow those things. So, like, just find something that's the same realm of working out, but it can tailor it to yourself so that you can enjoy the process.
1,000%. That's the key. Just enjoying the process.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is that makes you, in this case, move, like exercise,
Yeah.
then do that.
Right.
And then until you start to develop the thirst and hunger for different types and more knowledge of workouts. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah.
So how are you doing this week?
I'm doing very well. As Yana already mentioned, been working out, been doing this on the third for myself. My first game of the season, of the spring season, is coming up this Thursday. For those of you listening, it had already been Thursday, so I'll let you know next time, what the score was and everything. But I just played pickup last Friday.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You had a good group out there too.
2 hours I was out there.
2.5.
I burned, what was it, 1,600 calories in that one session alone.
Yeah.
But man, it was so much fun. I love being out there. Because, before that, I can't remember. It's been months. Been months since we went on the field.
Especially because of winter in Virginia.
Exactly.
But still.
But man, yeah. So I'm looking forward to all that. I'm really started to practice on the real estate photography and videography. I'm talking about, I want to say daily, but it's been about every other day to every 2 days, or 3 days, I guess, where taking the camera inside of my home and just doing my home, getting used to it, practicing here and then reviewing the footage, seeing what I could have done better, and still learning from others, like through YouTube and other articles of, composition and all the techniques that are needed for it.
Right.
Because I really want to use this month of March to develop those skills at a very basic but decent level. That way I could start going out and doing it for other people, whether that's paid or not. But then eventually, of course, I'm going to start wanting to get paid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all, little by little. And I love the fact that I'm enjoying the process. And I know it's more about the process than the result. Because once you get, let's say I get one paid client, I get paid that one time. There's no guarantee that I'll be motivated again to do it again.
Right.
But as long as I love doing the process,
Mhm.
the results are going to follow it each
Yeah.
and every time. Like, I lost so much weight and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying it. I still don't know my weight till this day.
Mhm.
Since I've been going to the gym since in December of last year.
Yeah.
But because I'm just enjoying going with my two friends,
Mhm.
I'm just, putting in the workout, sweating as much as I can. My clothes are fitting better.
Mhm.
Like, I'm gaining more confidence in myself. Like, I'm lasting longer on the field.
Yeah.
And I really haven't done cardio like that.
Yeah.
And it's because my body is responding to the weight that I'm losing and the muscle that I'm building.
Yes.
And that's all just part of the process. I'm not looking, for the benefits. Of
Mhm.
course, they're very nice, but I love the fact that I'm getting healthier and that
Mhm.
I'm enjoying the process.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I feel like this year is going to be, for us both,
Yeah.
is going to be so nice because we're really starting to get into that process level of thinking.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think the real like meat and potatoes for like this year, we actually defined it already,
Yeah.
Like my quarter 1 goal is to implement all 8 dimensions of wellness into my life like already,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that alone, like well-being is so crucial for me.
Yeah.
And I think being able to define that, because we've been studying this for a long time now.
Yeah.
And now that we have those tools, now is time to like, it's not enough to just know. You have to apply. You have to
Exactly.
implement. You have to execute.
Exactly.
Now is the time to put it into effect. What have you learned? Okay, you might still mess up. That's fine. That's part of actually like the lifestyle.
And growing. Yeah.
Yes,
And going
part
through
of
it.
growing
Yeah.
and doing and just becoming like more you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I love it. But yeah, you can follow me on my Instagram page at Adonis Barrera. That's ADONNIS BARRERA. And you can follow Iana at
Iana.Giselle, that's IANNA.GISELLE.
Yeah, and you can find us on our YouTube page to watch the video format of this podcast under my name, Adonis Barrera. We have a 2D Pod Instagram. That's
Mhm.
TOODEPPOD. And we also have a Facebook group, the 2D Podcast. Same thing, just had the CAST. There's nothing on it yet. But like we say, as always, we're going to start posting. But yeah, we really enjoy making these podcasts for you guys. We realize we only have like, a certain number of listeners. But for those of you that do listen, we really do hope that this inspires you, empowers you, motivates you to continue on your growth, on your self-development, on your character development. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.